Well, due to some technical errors with my video camera, the unboxing and everything else went bye-bye. And so, with that being said, I will continue with what I've got here right now. And we'll just continue on where I'm at, is installing the wings. I got one more screw to place on this wing here. I've got the elevators in, found the correct screws. I'm going to set the servos up to the elevators once I get it plugged in with the battery. So I got one more screw to deal with right now, and I got a multi-function screwdriver that I got one Christmas, and it's got all the different screws and straight slots and Phillips and even the hex head screws to work with this. So with that being said, we'll just continue where I thought I left off and just get all the wings screwed in with the wing tube and everything else instead of starting all over. And we're all set nice and tight, nice and flush. And we got the both wings in there right now, and the servos are there, and we'll deal with the elevators here in a little bit and get that squared away. So pretty much everything as you see it right here and now to where I got it, all of just a few minutes of getting them all set. With that being said, the elevators have the ball links on there. I really like ball links. So with that being said, we'll need to put those in the correct slots on the servos, and it'll tell you which ones that those go into here. And it's looking like shafts into the place pursued is gonna control by just the elevator angle referring to the following diagram. But it looks like they've got the control horn into the second hole on the servo from the end. So that's where I'm going to put it. Second hole from the end. Get it in there. And these things are tight. Real tight. And where that is, it's giving me some up deflection, so I'm going to have to turn these in from where the servo is right now. To make it even with the fuselage plane. And maybe one more quarter turn. Quarter turn. Let's see what we're at here. Now that looks perfect. Perfect on. Snap it in. I do have a bowling plier somewhere. A tight fit. Yeah, let me see. And I know that my servo arm is pretty much 90 degrees on the servo itself. So that looks pretty good right there. So before I snap that in place, I want to make sure it all works properly when I plug her in. So I got that side, I get the other side. I like my servos 90 degrees the body of the servo itself, the servo arms. Okay, like those 90 degrees. Sure what I'm talking about here. Okay, see how that's 90 degrees to the servo, and then I'm going to want those at least even. Got the other side just about where I need it. So let's see where that's at. And when I power up, then I can fine tune it as I need to fine tune it. In the second hole. Come in a bit. And one more. Perfect. I want these at even Stevens with each other. There we go. Quarter turn out. See where we're at there. Yeah, it's a little up. So I'll do that quarter turn in back. Alright. So, with that being said, as I was mentioning earlier, what I'm using for the battery tray is this rubber foam on the floor to keep the battery from movement. And I've used this on all my airplanes from now on instead of the Velcro to the battery, because that's just a little of a pain. With this, you can get them in and out really easy without the zipping and doo-dah. So this makes it a lot easier, and it actually really holds the battery in really well. Local hardware store, about $1.50 for a roll, $2, whatever the case may be. I was talking a little bit earlier about the Gen Z's battery. I've picked it up at my local hobby shop. It's a hobby shop that I frequent quite often, and it's one I helped open up back in 1975. I was 17 years old then. My go-to hobby shop down the street, Prop Shop Hobbies, and they got the these Gen Z's 2600s 45C. Okay, and the only problem with that is they came with our favorite connectors, Dean's. Eventually I'm going to change these out to regular XT60s, but my hobby shop also had the adapter, which these work really well because they're put together the way they're supposed to be. So with that being said, I'm going to use this as a temporary until I'm able to get to it fully. I just want to be able to power up the airplane and see where we're at with all the flight controls. Okay. Now with that being said, the other thing I did get for this airplane, get it out here. Here it is. And one of the many things I got at my local hobby shop was my RIFD from Spectrum, one that the FAA wants us to put in the airplane. So here it is. There it is. So I got those for my other airplanes, not to mention the numbers that are supposed to come on your plane and so on. And the other thing I did get was an AR630, which has the safe and AS3X and safe and telemetry receiver. So it doesn't have all the wires. It's just, since it's a simplistic jet, basically 4 channels, I think this will work just fine. So this is my go-to for my local hobby shop. You know, I like to support them also, and only because I helped open it way back when, and I know the family really well. So we're going to put this in there and we'll get to work and hook this all up. Of course, we got the nose cone. Yep. Fits right on my nose pretty good too, by the way. Just, hey, what you see, ducky? Oh, there you go, my little chickie. The way it is. Yep, right there. The nose has it. Alright, the throttle is in one. I don't have the best of light here, but let's see what we got. So I have to look at the positive, negative, goes to the bottom. Okay. Negative to the bottom, throttle number 1. That's the bind port. So we got the throttle in. Then we get the ailerons in, number 2. Sure all the wires go in the correct direction. And from what this has got the button, okay. For binding, it's got a button on the receiver when you power it up. What I see a lot of folks doing is when they wire these things up, they don't take the necessary precautions to make sure that the wires are in the right way going into the receiver or whatever else they're plugging the servos into, or any other piece of equipment that goes onto the airplane. So we want to make sure that the wire's in the right direction so we don't burn something up. The receiver, servos, whatever the case may be. So the next one is the elevator. Which is usually 3. Now it's easily switched. It's 3, and rudder number 4. Yellow to the top, brown one to the bottom. Okay, we're all good to go there. Now the fun part begins. Is I got to set up the transmitter first. I'm using my DX18. Never had any issues with my DX18 on any aircraft that I've ever had, and I've had this radio for quite some time. No, I did not update the firmware or anything else. I've seen too many issues with other folks having problems with updates that made the radio fail. If it's not broke, for me, don't fix it, because it's doing what it's supposed to do. So with that being said, I'm going to set up a new airplane. Model select, new model, create, okay, model type, okay, fixed wing. Data will be reset, yes. You want it to fit what you're going to do. Model name. Oops, what I'm going to do is call it B. Let's see. I'm going to call it BH. I'm just going to clear this next piece out. BH with a blank. Blank. Now, aircraft type, wing normal, tail normal, there's no rudder, so we don't have to worry about that. No MEF mode needed. No spoken flight mode needed. And we don't really need anything else yet. Okay, BH F-22 Raptor. Now we got it all set up in there. You can see that or not. Okay. So everything's centered, throttle's down. Don't have to deal with landing gear. And we just need to turn this off. Excuse me. And get my trusty old battery. Where'd I stick it? Alright, see if we can do this. No. How about that? Nothing happened. Why not? You got power. Never mind. So I got the flashy on the receiver here. Flashy. Press the bind button. So now, hit my bind button here. Turn on my transmitter, and we look for a bind.
Binding. DSMX 22 milliseconds. Telemetry.
Right aileron, left aileron, hey, that's perfect. Up elevator, down elevator, sweet. Left and right rudder. Rudder servo isn't quite centered, so we'll probably have to fix that a little bit. But, yeah. So we shove everything up underneath, as they say. Like I said, I'm going to get everything else done after I'm finished here. says push up the thing up underneath. Might be able to go in the sub-trim for the steerable nose wheel and fix it that way. Just have it squared away, which is probably what I'm going to do anyway. Cannon out. Okay. Nope, that works. Throttle works. It's in the right direction. Man, it's hard to push up in there. All those wires. Well, some other time. I just need to get my elevators taken care of. Real quick here. And they look pretty spot on. A little bit, one more turn in. Here we go. That'll work. All right. Okay. Bada bing. Bada boom. Good. Looks good. All right, let's check that out. Get up, down, left, or I mean right, excuse me, right down, around, left, eight around, left, thumbs up on the right, thumbs up on the right, thumbs up on the left, and then all set. And we got the scrottle. So that being said, we got a lot of stuff that jam up in that little hole, and get the landing gear on and so on to get snapped in place. But for the most part, that's all there is to it, guys. And then you can fix, you know, do your own whatever you need to do as far as your trims and so on and so forth. And you know, if you want your expo where you want it, dual rates wherever you want it, and so on. For me, I like 30% on the expo on everything, especially with something like this small, because it can get away from you pretty quick. So the expo helps. And I'll have 3 positions on where I have the ailerons position for the stick. So usually 100 to 90 from or 85 to about 70 on the on that part. So that being said, guys, that's all there is to it. Put the canopy on and we're ready to go. One thing I have to work on is the rudder, or the steerable nose wheel, because it does appear to be a little bit off. So I'm going to get into that. I'm going to take the servo horn off and probably center it that way if I can. If not, then I'll just go into sub trim and straighten that out. Make sure it's nice and straight. Alright. There's your F-22 in a nut bag, pretty much. And we'll get this thing all set and put together and we'll be good to go. So what do you think, guys? Have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon. But it's been fun. I wish my camera didn't blank out on me. It said the everything was full on the camera, the internal stuff. So I turned it off, tried to turn it back on, and everything was gone. So we got where we got. Hope that was enough and sufficient. Pretty much everything was by the book. Everything's squared away, right on. And we'll go with the throws at a later date. Make sure they're all on. Got a neat little device to do that with. And hopefully that will serve the purpose as far as my throws go. So I have another little device for that. It's in another box that I have sitting over there. But guys, have a great evening. Bamnana Hobby, we're in the house. And maybe this weekend we'll get this thing up and in the air. Okay? Take care. Bye. Reverse mode. But I'm sure it'll be. Yeah, it looks like it's going to kick out pretty good. So just a little bit of taxi test in my backyard using a DX18. Taxi straight as an arrow, I tell you. Looking pretty good. So we're good to go. A little breezy day today, but looking good. We'll get the other decals stuck on there here this evening and get it looking nice and pretty. So there you have it, and see where we're at. I do have the servo centered. Alright, got her all done. Anyways, that's your F-22. Seems like we'll have enough power to do what it needs to do. And we'll get this thing in the air here. Hopefully this weekend, but they're calling for rain. So we'll see. Catch y'all later.